Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Welcome to Crochet Podcast, episode 153. Today I have a lot to share with you. It has been a while since I have made a video. I feel like I'm getting on a bike, pedaling it, seeing how it goes. A bit worried about the brakes and the hills, but we're gonna give it a shot. I did clean out the yarnery. You're probably noticing that. I cleaned out the yarnery, and now I feel like it's really echoey in here because it's really empty. Right? Oh well, I'll be telling you all about that in a minute. So we're gonna start with holiday update. So what was I up to while I have been AFK, away from my keyboard, my lenses, my cameras, and you? I have been on holiday with the kids. Kids were off. Two of my kids had 2 weeks off and the other kids had 4 weeks off. So it was really nice to get to spend all that time together. Also took them to the coast for a holiday. That is like a new life goal of mine, is to make as many memories as we can. It all sort of hit me that my oldest is gonna be an adult in 6 months. And then he's gonna be like off in uni in a year and a half. And I'm like, oh my gosh. What? So we have to, I'm really trying to like cram in all the holidays, all the activities, all the fun stuff that a teenager would enjoy in the next year and a half. So that is my main paramount on top. I didn't do my hair, did I? All right. Anyway, that is my main goal. Let me just do a quick little do. It's not going to get that much better. It'll just be a little less fuzzy. So took them to the coast, did this amazing float. You actually get sucked out into the ocean and go whipping past boats and stuff. It was amazing. So I'll be doing a little video about that and our other adventures of my trip on the other channel, the after party. Only if you're interested in it, it will be over there. What else did we do? Tried to find a turkey. Ended up finding the biggest turkey, 16.5 pounds or 7.5 kilos. I think that's how it measured to each other, the weights. It was huge, and then I brined it, and then I overcooked it. So don't Google the internet and think that that recipe is right. It said 13 minutes a pound. It should have been 10 minutes a pound. It wasn't like super overcooked, but it wasn't to the potential of what it could be. Other than that, super fantastic. Loved it. Spaced out all of the baking and all of the preparation. Got sheets for the planner. Oh my goodness, the planner. Did you see the planner? I made that before I went on holiday, end of November, beginning of December. That is an entire kind of like a life planner where you can keep track of all of your crochet projects, all your patterns, all of your things you need to shop for, all the things you need to do, all of your tasks, your month, like what you need to do every month, every week, all that stuff. And it's all printable, and you can print off as many sheets as you like of whatever suits your needs. Plus, I also did a recipe page. Well, that's what I did for me. That'll be coming out next year for you. I haven't done it like officially, but also for next year there will be an event thing and all that stuff. That'll be coming out, well, in less than a year, in 11 months. So I was also working on that, getting it super perfected. You're gonna love that. I'll link it down below as well. I'll show you on the screen a little bit. It's fantastic. Oh, I also did a video about that if you wanna like see what all the pages are, so I don't have to like tell you all about it right now. What else did I do? So I'm getting my recipes written down in like a place, and I'm keeping them in my binder. That's like one of my life goals. Like when you're all grown up, it's gonna be right here. So that is something I did, or I'm doing. I'm half done my Christmas recipes. I only got that far. But better than not started at all. Then after Christmas, I was like, I don't know. For me, you tell me how you feel. You tell me how, like, your experience, your take on it. I feel like I've just been like push, 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 push. And the only way I can like totally feel it is I feel like I'm at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Like life's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Eat as much as you want, take whatever you want, do what life is yours to do what you want to do with. I just feel like I'm that little glutton at the back that just keeps running back with the same dirty plate because I don't have enough time to go and wash my own plate. Do Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's okay. I'll just put some, I'll just get another meal on top of this dirty plate. And it's like, no, honey, take a break, wash your plate, wash your fork, start fresh. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you the only one with a dirty plate? Just keeping going, keeping going, keeping going. So I was like, ee! This happened pretty much right after Christmas. Well, I've been thinking about it, like what I want to do. I want this, I want that. Like, I want a blanket for my closets. I want a closet for my blankets. They've been on a stack on the floor for like a year, and I don't have a spot for them. So I'm like, I want my blankets in a closet. Like, just small things like that I haven't taken the time, made the time to do. Like, the blankets are fine on the floor, but for me, come on, it really should be in a closet, right? So just little things like that. And I made a list of all the things that I wanted to get done. And then I spent my mornings, like 3 hours a day from 9 until noon-ish, getting them done. I'm like, today I'm going to tackle this. Today I'm going to tackle that. And it all started right in here. So I took everything out, moved things around, only have in what I really need, have in what I love, like just having it all fresh. I want it fresh. So yes, the yarn wall is back. I didn't buy any yarn. That's still the same yarn that was annoying me. Remember those greens? But I did rearrange it. So I'm going to do a video. If you're interested, let me know. I can do a video on like how I arranged my yarn, like by weight and all that, if that's of interest to you. So I started that first. I got the yarn looking cute, and then I started like just hauling all the furniture out, finding something smaller for my TV, all those things, getting myself all my whip baskets organized, all my books, all my yarn samples, like everything is organized and feeling fresh and new and great. So that's what started it. And then that trickled in to like the next room over where I pushed all the furniture. So then I had to do that room, and then every other room in the house. I do have, plus, as one does. So one of my sons is into playing drums, and another one wants to play piano. My daughter wants to play guitar, and I can't imagine living in a house with all that noise going on. And I did have a storeroom out back, like a storage room. It's not big, maybe 6 feet by 6 feet. I want to say 6 feet by 8 feet, but I don't think it is. Maybe it's 6 by 5. It's pretty small, but big enough. So I'm like, what if I took all my storage out and put the drum kit in there, put the guitar, the keyboard, put all that stuff out there, so that if the kids want to play, at least there's a little bit of concrete walls around them. It's not like right inside my house. And then took all of that storage stuff, which apparently was floor to ceiling, wall to wall, walls to walls, into the garage, which was handy because I got to hide the drum kit and the piano and stuff in behind all the storage boxes, and the kids didn't want anything to do with the storage boxes because they knew I was going to want them to help me organize it. So I moved everything in there, and I'm like, oh, we got to organize it. Like, who's helping me? And they're all like, vroom, like, I'm out of there. Perfect. Thank you. So that was like December 23rd. Nailed it. Kids didn't want to look in there one bit. So hid a drum kit and a piano. And I got all that set up, like wrapped for Christmas, set up on Christmas Day out in that storeroom. Then what was in the storeroom, pretty much toys, Mears toys from when he was a kid, and the other kids' toys as well. But pretty much it was all Mears in the beginning. And if you have kids, you know, pretty much everyone wants to play with the oldest kids' stuff. You know what I mean? So have all of that in the garage. And Litza was trying to convince me that I should sell it. I find that tedious, and like, can't you just donate it somewhere? But I got overwhelmed. I'm like, oh. So anyway, it's all stacked up. I actually ran out of time because it's like, you know, you can only do what you can do for so long. So I stacked it all up, as cute as it can be, but it is ready for, you know, for selling in spring. In a couple months, I'll just take it all out, boom, 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 sell it, and then that will be the official. No, I still do have another thing to do. So that gets downstairs totally sorted. I do still want to set up a sewing area and clean out. My closet's done, my bathroom's done. I want to set up like a sewing nook. I don't know if you watched an old podcast, I forget which one it was, but when I moved into this house, so about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, and there was like a little planning area. I want my planning area to be like a sewing area. If I need to sew anything, I just want my sewing machine set up. I want to make some bean bags. I want to do some stuff. I want my things set up and organized. After that, the whole house is done. So I'm feeling really good about it. And I'd be happy to take you on a little tour of that. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. If it's boring, also boring, let's stick to crochet. You could also say that. We're not going to hurt my feelings. So speaking of crochet and being in this room with a clean plate and a clean spoon, ready to make the most out of life, getting the most out of life's buffet this year, I have organized my whips a little bit, which also means I unearthed all my scraps. Now I started with a whip container. I guess I could reach it. It wouldn't kill me. So this was my first one, and I'm like, when this is full, I'll wind it up. Like I'll like join it and either wind them up into balls if they're bigger, or knot them, like magic knot them end to end and like cake it up into a big color changing cake. Okay, so this one got full. I stacked another one on top of it, and I also did that temperature blanket or birthday wrap for my 50th, and I didn't like the colors of it. Like I wouldn't wear the colors. So in my head, I was just gonna frog that back as well. Maybe frog it into a cake. Do you know what I mean? So it's like end to end, frog it up. It'll still be like my birthday colors, but it doesn't have to be that wrap right there. So 3 baskets of scraps. You kind of got to accept the fact you have scraps. So now I feel in my big purge that it is time to tackle these baskets, all these baskets. So the big ones, I do even have some yarn. So this is gonna get frogged. I know it's cute. I'm never gonna use it. All I see is like chewed bubble gum. I don't need to see chewed bubble gum. I also included quite a big skein of Savor because the center is still nice. See, inside that center, it's still nice. But the outside, see how skinny it is? It looks like Karen Simply Soft. Like very skinny. So, I don't know, it was like a dead roll. Even this I caked up before. It's a dead roll. So I'm going to also be including that in my scrap making. Whatever I want to do with scraps. Let me get those back over there. And what I do want to do with scraps, now here's the thing. I feel if you stay busy, inspiration will find you. If you just kind of sit and wait for it, you're just going to get hungry. Do you know what I mean? You're just going to start snacking. Or I would start snacking. Well, nothing really stops me from snacking. But that would be the gist of it, is staying busy. So I was cleaning all this stuff. Like, it wasn't really anything I wanted to crochet. I'm like, because I feel if I start crocheting, it's another project, and I really just don't even want another project. I want to finish some of my projects, but there's nothing I really want. Like, there's nothing I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally need that today, which is generally where I want to crochet from. That's how I want to feel about it. Like, thirsty, like I need it right now. So, getting all this ready yesterday, I was going to film a little tour yesterday of like, oh, look, here's Yarnery, here's this, here's that, like show you where I put everything. Then I'm like, remember those can cozies I did? They're really cute. This pink doesn't match what I have going on in here anymore. And I'm like, oh. And I have been collecting tins of all sizes, like one of each size, for probably, hello phone, for probably a year. So, and I'm always kind of panicking they're going to get thrown out because they are empty tins. So I was like, what if, oh, and I had a plastic thing here for these barrettes. I can show you. I keep a bunch of these little baby barrettes by my yarn ball winder. So when I'm done caking it, I just pop one of those on the tail and they stay together. Even if you're winding a ball or a cake, they really work. So I keep they were in a little plastic thing that they came from the store in. And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't I have a small tin that is just screaming to hold these? Like, isn't that the cutest thing? It's so cute. It was delicious cheese from India. Yum. It was, I think that's called Atul, A-T-U-L. It tastes kind of like a shopping bag. It's like plastic cheese, but it's an acquired taste and you start to love it. My husband loves it. I can have a little piece of it here and there every now and again, but my husband totally loves it. Comes in cute little tins like this. So we were like, what? I'm like, I'm keeping that tin for the Yarnery. So I made this cute little cozy for it, which started me on a cozy bender. Oh, I should tell you, works in progress and finished objects. It is actually, because I'm still making one. So this is, that's the one I'm going to do for a tutorial. These are the ones that I have done. So there's a short, a medium, and a regular. Aren't those the cutest things? And are you ready for it? This got me super scrappy. Are you ready for scrappy? Are you not loving it? So this just totally reminds me of my Granny Ruth, because that is the style she used to make our Afghans in. All different yarn scraps, one color per row, and you don't have to worry about your ends because nobody's gonna see it. You can just knot them. Where did I knot them? Mine are all joined here. You can kind of see it's a bit knobbly there. I'm not bothered. I'm not sewing in a thing. How fun is that? Right up to the edge. I loved it. So now I'm on a bender. I'm like, oh my gosh. I went into my pantry. I'm looking at all my tins. I did find, well, I did use this one in the middle of the night. Now, side story, here we start with Pet of the Week. I should say new pet of the week. So yesterday, my youngest comes home from school and he's like, Mom, there's a kitten at school and everybody's chasing it and it has ants crawling all over it and it's crying and it doesn't have a mom and it's really hungry. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's get some kibble. We'll go back to school. We'll feed the cat, right? Anyway, turns out everybody's like chasing the cat. The cat goes anywhere, a little kitten. Little yay big, I'll show you. Little yay big kitten. Anytime they see it, they like stomp their feet, they chase it. It's paranoid, it's like so skittish. It was living underneath, like in a dirt hole. It was living in a dirt hole underneath a container, like a shipping container. There was a hole underneath. The mom had left, I guess came to the school, gave birth over the holidays, and then left when the people came back, and this poor little kitten got left behind. So that was yesterday. So then in the middle of the night, I'm like, I need a can. And then I was like, I need to make kitten formula. So this was evaporated milk. And now it is ready for yarn, for a scrap-tastic, scrappy can cozy. So I'm super excited about it. I love it. I just want to sit down with my bins of messy yarn and just cover cans. I'm having such a good time. So what I think I'm going to do, this is my plan. I came up with this plan this morning. Last year, I should find it. It's in my messy area right now, but I kept all of my yarn ends in a small canister, about half this size. And by October, November, I was like having to push it down to get the lid closed. So I have a bigger canister for this year, but the problem with it, and even with the canister I had last year, lifting the lid. Now, not to be lazy, I know it's like definitely a first world problem, but lifting the lid to put your tails away, if a garbage can is just empty right there, or like open, it can be easier to just toss your ends in the bin and pretend everything's fine and your house is clean so quickly. So what I want to do, crochet a bunch of cans to have around everywhere that I crochet. So it's gonna look cute. It's open at the top. Drop your tails in, whatever, from sewing in your ends, and then when it's full, or when you feel like it, take it to the canister, dump it inside, do the lid thing. Until then, you don't have to. So you just need a bunch of these all around the house for wherever you crochet. You don't need them all around the house, but wherever you like to crochet, toss a cute can down just to catch your ends until it's full. So that is what I want to do. I also want to go can shopping to find different size cans. What I want, I think there's a jam here. I think Zesta Jam. It's a 1 pound jam, or 500 grams, and it is a little bit taller than a regular can and wider. So all my hooks will fit in it, I think, because my hooks fit in 3 right now. So thinking if I got a bigger one, plus I could crochet it with my scraps, then that would be something to do. Also, Speedy Granny Ruth stitch in the round. I love it. It is like my go-to. I did a whole bunch of different stitches for my first set of cans. Single crochet, bless my heart, who has time for it. Speedy Granny Ruth in the round is the way to go. Get those back over there. So that is my passion. That is what I'm into right now. And yes, there will be a tutorial and a written pattern for whatever size can you find, or whichever size can you want to cover. So it'll be made to measure, but no counting. Well, you have to count to 4, but you don't have to count to like 62 or 61 or 55. No. Count to 4 and we'll make it fit together. So you will love it. That is gonna be the next project coming out. So video schedule for the upcoming year, or this year, I should say. We're already in it, right? Mid-January. There's gonna be something on Friday, 5 o'clock, same time as a live chat. If it's not a live chat, there'll be a video. I'm also just feeling like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday is just a good thing to do. So I'm not saying it's going to be a full video, and I'm not going to commit to say there's a new tutorial every week, there's a podcast every week. There's going to be a podcast when I have something to share with you. If there isn't, or if there's a crochet question, maybe it'll be a video answering a question or a topic or something like that. So there's going to be videos, but I am not committing to a set schedule at this time, other than something every Friday, something every Sunday, and there will be something every Wednesday, even if it is just a little reel or a little short or a little something. I'll be around, but I can't say it's going to be a podcast, can't say it's going to be a tutorial, but I can say it's going to be colorful and it's going to be fun. So that's it for me. I have to pop out, go get the kids from school. I hope you are having a super great day. Let me know if you have any questions for me in the comments under this video, and stay hooked.